In order to create your life consciously, we have to be aware of our subconscious programs. When we go unconscious, we by default start to lean on and utilize our subconscious programs. I don't know about you, but every time someone says reprogram your subconscious, it can seem very confusing and elusive and hard to figure out. How do I actually get a hold of the very thing that I cannot see with my conscious awareness? Well, I have good news for you today. Reprogramming your subconscious is easier than you ever could have imagined, and I'm about to share with you the process of how to do that. When we think about reprogramming our subconscious, we also want to consider the term deconditioning and reconditioning. Essentially, our subconscious programs came from the conditioning that we received in our early childhood or from the world around us. We were conditioned by the people around us as well as our environment, and those conditions or programs become the foundation from which we create. It is becoming more common knowledge that we are creators, as within, so without. We are creating our life as we move through it. And while some people in the human design world say that it takes 7 years to decondition, I have good news for you. There are ways to speed up that process. Now, that was originally said because the body fully turns over every single cell within a 7-year period. And it is true that our subconscious is actually reflected through our physical body. Our physical body is an external reflection of our internal environment. And many people are also waking up to the awareness that the body keeps the score. Whether it's unhealed trauma or your conditioning and programming, your cellular structure also houses this memory. So we can start to understand what are our subconscious programs, what is the conditioning that we experience, and how do we decondition by looking at what do you say to yourself when you talk to yourself. They say we can have up to 80,000 thoughts per day. 90% of those thoughts are repeated. Many times we have conscious thought, but oftentimes, more often than not, we are having subconscious thoughts. You can start to notice as you move through your life, what types of thoughts do you have as it relates to your relationships, your health, your career, your success path, your purpose, any of these things, whatever's most important to you. Some examples of subconscious programs or conditioning: you have to work hard for money. Money is hard to come by. We have to work hard in general. Relationships are hard. Love is hard. Some of the most pervasive programming today is around struggle, efforting, pushing, and having to keep things under control. Many people believe that money is the root of all evil, or rich people are evil or greedy. Really start to notice the things that you say to yourself as you engage. The next time you buy some groceries or pay a bill, the next time you interact with a person on the street or an attendant at the grocery store, the next time you step on the scale or feel your heart racing. Start to notice the stories that you tell yourself. Most of us have a story around who we are and how life goes for us. What is it that you believe about what you deserve, what you will experience, and therefore what you attract? What is the story that you tell yourself? That points to your subconscious program and your conditioning. Unfortunately, most of the subconscious programs and conditions today revolve around struggle. Most people in the world today are striving instead of thriving. And your subconscious program creates more of the same. And through confirmation bias, the reticular activating system goes out and finds the evidence to prove the thing that you have chosen to believe. Now, I know that can seem a little bit harsh. Some of us who had difficult childhoods began to adopt beliefs based on the reality of that difficult time in our life. But in that moment, that 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old decided something about the rest of your life that was true in that moment and is no longer true. Now, we know through neuroscience that only 0.0035% of reality can be received and processed by your eyes and your brain. That means the reticular activating system has to filter out 99.9% of the reality that actually exists around you that you are not able to comprehend or perceive. Now, it does so based on what you have decided is important and relevant, your subconscious. So if we have a belief that life is hard, our reticular activating system and our belief system is going to continue to bring to us the evidence to prove the thing that we have chosen to believe. This is also called confirmation bias. Again, all of these things are helping us understand and put our finger on that subconscious program so that we can reprogram it. And while it's especially true for those of us who did experience a challenging childhood or a toxic relationship, we received that program of unworthiness, not enoughness, and struggle, which influenced how we perceive ourselves and what we believe about who we are and what we're capable of receiving. And even if you don't identify as having trauma, the world today, the conditioning and programming of the marketing and the media and everything that is being ingested through our gates, whether it's your eye gate or your ear gate, you are receiving a program which is creating a collective wound of not enoughness. So how do we reprogram it? The good news is because the body keeps the score, it actually makes it easier for us to reprogram. Many of us have struggled to identify our subconscious programs because we're using a conscious process or a cognitive process. But because the body keeps the score and there is literal bodily memory stored in not only your cells, but also your fascia and your lymph fluid and your blood, we have to work with the body to decondition and reprogram our subconscious. Learning to work with the body to do this requires a somatic approach. And yes, somatic means of the body, which does mean that yoga or breath work could qualify as somatic. I have found in my experience trauma spotting to be the most effective, which utilizes a combination of EMDR, brain spotting, somatic experiencing, energy healing, and inner child work, otherwise known as internal family systems. When you bring all of these parts together, you have all of the different decision makers sitting at your table. All of those different inner child parts hold a key. Your organs, your cells, all of the different aspects of your body that house this memory are kind of like a key stakeholder. All of these different parts sit at the boardroom table of your subconscious control panel. They hold a key and they will not release that subconscious program until they have completed their process and believe it's safe to do so. This is very similar to the closing of a stress response or a stress loop in the body. And because the body keeps the score, we allow the body to handle the healing process. The body naturally knows how to heal. We just have to get the mind out of the way and know how to set the stage so that it can do so. And because it is true, it does take 7 years for the body to fully turn over its cellular regeneration. We also know that we can support regeneration, healing, rest, digest, growth, and repair, otherwise known as the parasympathetic nervous system state, by assisting the body in detoxing and cleansing through things like fasting, learning to reprogram our neural pathways so that we can leverage epigenetics to change our cellular structure and the DNA that is turned on or off, and through reframing. We are reframing the meaning making that we have assigned to certain experiences or memories in our life, which actually allow us to literally rewrite our memories. We can utilize things like heart coherence. Heart coherence and system regulation, otherwise known as co-regulation with another, can assist our body in stepping out of the activation and into the rest and digest, healing, growth, repair state of our nervous system, allowing for the subconscious reprogramming to happen. When we are holding on to subconscious programs or conditions around life being difficult, life being hard, having to struggle, hustle and grind, worry, stress, these are all activated nervous system states, which are the opposite of healing, rest, digest, growth, and repair. That also causes those different aspects of us, those inner child parts, or the cellular bodily memory, to remain in a belief that we have to cling to this subconscious program to keep ourselves safe. And it is through the closing of the stress response, working with the body to heal that so that we can let that subconscious program go and then replace it with a new, more resourceful belief. When we step into that rest and digest, healing, growth, repair aspect of our nervous system, we allow ourselves to be more magnetic and more receptive and to receive the new subconscious programs. If you've ever tried to force yourself to repeat affirmations you couldn't believe, you'll notice they stay in your brain and are never fully embodied. We have to work with the body, release the old programs to make space for the new programs, and allow the body to integrate and embody these new and subconscious programs. So remember, your frequency is based on what you frequently see. What you are seeing is the evidence of your subconscious programs. And no amount of efforting or striving is going to be able to force them out of your brain and body. We have to learn to work with the body so that we can heal. And once we have completed the process of closing the stress responses in the body, working with the different parts that sit at your boardroom table and allowing them to release those programs so that we can make space, that is when we can start to work with affirmations and commanding new programs to be installed. Once you have reached that phase, it is also important to remember the brain responds to powerful emotion and it only understands present. So we want to use powerful, exciting, present tense commands that are very specific and declare they are installed. So there's a lot of different examples. Things like, I am married to the partner of my dreams. I have a loving, unified family. I live in my dream home. My business is exploding and helping millions of people. These are the types of thoughts that we want to continue to have on repeat, but we have to learn how to make space for them first. So if you're ready to get started reprogramming your subconscious, make sure you check out my trauma spotting course that will help you step into more than enough and create the life of your dreams through your purpose. If you've already completed that, the somatic healing in the body, and you're ready for the affirmations, check out this video for a meditation to offer new suggestions around the key areas of your life and how to start creating now. I love you, my friends. I'll see you on the next one.